Well, we don't want them to have. We don't want the Houthis to have drones, so let's allow Iran to have nukes.
That'll teach them.
Like, to be like, oh yeah, well they're funding. It's a bad deal to prevent them from having nuclear weapons because they're funding groups that don't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're terrible for funding all. This is like this weird thing that they do where they're like, this is terrible that they're funding for this, and so we should stop. We should allow them to have nuclear weapons. You know, like it logically
Yeah,
doesn't
it's an interesting
track.
trade-off.
Right. Well, we don't want them to have. We don't want the Houthis to have drones, so let's allow Iran to have nukes.
That'll teach them.
That'll teach them. They won't know what hit them. Hello?
Hey, thanks for having me up. I wanted to come up because I just wanted to offer the other side because I am in favor of the strike on Iran.
Why?
Well, that's why.
Well, because the question was like, what happened to no new wars, and I guess I wanted to say that like Trump didn't start a war. Like the regional conflict had been happening since October 7th, and so I think that it's not necessarily a new war. There's no like commitment to do anything other than just what he did, and so I think there's a little bit of a general there's a out of proportion response regarding the strike and regarding what has been American involvement so far.
So why do you support it? All things considered, like just
Well, because it's not a
synopsis.
good. It's not a good. My synopsis is it's not a good thing for the Islamic Republic to have a nuclear weapon. So it is a good thing that Trump bombed the nuclear site so that they don't ever get a nuclear weapon.
That won't
They got
stop
everything
them from,
out.
yeah.
No, so the whole point about the 60% enriched uranium, there's kind of two things. One is that the enriched uranium is not all the problem. What's actually the problem is the centrifuges and the infrastructure and the knowledge that it takes to get 60% enriched uranium up to 90%, which is what the weapons grade is, and when you can actually turn that into a weapon and put it onto a warhead. So yes, we still need to find the enriched uranium, but if they don't have the ability to enrich it up to 90%, which is what we did by bombing Isfahan and Natanz and also Fordow, then we've accomplished the goal of eliminating their nuclear program.
There's no evidence that we did that though.
So you're saying that we didn't do that? We didn't
We
take
did.
bomb
We did
Fordow?
bomb them. There's no evidence that anything other than surface structure was destroyed. But
We're
also,
waiting
you're
for
trying to put
obviously
this
for the
into a
battle.
larger conflict. This is
No,
not
there's
part of
definitely evidence
October
that
7th.
I mean, Ifrahan and Natanz for sure have both been eliminated completely. That's already been established. We're just waiting for the battle.
Established where?
I mean, all you have to do is go and go and
Well,
find it. Like there's
one
satellite
of them
imagery,
had,
like there's
yeah, yeah,
military
yeah.
experts.
So
Like,
surface
well,
infrastructure was destroyed, like I said, but there's no evidence anything underground was.
but the
And
only
on top of
underground,
that, it's not gonna stop
the
them.
only the
Assessments
only
on this,
underground.
the assessments on this by like nuclear experts, the only way that they're gonna stop the Iran from having a nuclear weapon is if you topple the regime. That's it.
I mean, we're currently on the way towards the regime being toppled, I would say, but nonetheless, the only underground facility was the Fordow facility, but Natanz and Ifshahan, the equipment and everything that needed to be destroyed was above ground.
Okay.
So that's right. So we're just waiting for the battle damage, the BDA.
Right, but
in
it's
order
not going to
go
stop it. There's the knowledge has been redundancied at this point. There are still the experts that exist.
The knowledge
They
has not
have
been redundancy. The nuclear scientists have mostly been eliminated, and it's really difficult for them to get access to that
What
type
do
of
you
knowledge
mean?
again.
They literally. What are you talking about? Most of.
I mean, one of the first things that Israel did was eliminate most of the nuclear scientists. If not,
They didn't eliminate most. They have taken out a handful of their top nuclear scientists over the years. There's been 5 assassinations.
No, literally, there have been 19 just in the last week.
19. Where are you getting that from?
Literally everywhere. I'm sorry if you're not following it. I'm sorry, but I can't list
you
off.
cite something?
Literally where?
You can go to most open source OSINT. I mean, this happened this was the first thing that they did. They went after the top IRGC commanders. They went after the top nuclear scientists. This was one of the first things that they did before they ever attacked infrastructure. This was June 12, 13, 14.
You said 19?
At least that's what maybe it changed over
19.
time. I mean, it might have changed over time.
You said 19 nuclear scientists, right? Now you're kind of adding in, but
it could have
here's
been.
the thing. Hold on, sir. Can you take a breath? Like, smell the flowers, right? If it were this easy, how come no other president, even Trump in his first term, how come they never did this? Nobody's done it. If it were this easy.
Yeah, so I'm happy to explain what the difference between the current circumstances now versus basically the other
There's been
circumstances,
5.
like or the circumstances over the last, like really why the geopolitical circumstances of today made it a lot easier than it had been in the past. And it really has to do with what's happened since October 7th. So since October 7th, because we know that Iran mostly attacks and destabilizes the region through proxies, they don't do a lot of stuff for themselves. Their proxies are the Houthis, the Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Shiite militias in Iraq. And then, of course, you had Assad. Those were their main proxies. As a
Real
result,
quick, a U.S. base in Doha is being attacked by 6 missiles fired by Iran at the moment, at this very moment.
yeah, that
I wanted
actually,
to
I'm pretty
update
sure, if I'm not
everybody.
mistaken, that actually got emptied out a few days ago, right?
No,
They had military, they
Qatar?
had personnel.
in Qatar, yeah.
So,
They're not gonna evacuate the entire airbase.
I'm sorry, it was the key personnel out of the embassies. My apologies. So again, going back to what I was saying is that because post October
What
7th,
evidence do you have that this is gonna stop it? I think that's the crux of the
Well,
argument here.
if I can ask, I just want to answer Paige's question if that's okay, because I want to make sure I get to
Sure.
that. So
Sure.
you had Hamas, which is barely a shell of itself. Hezbollah is also not is also a shell of itself. The Shiite militias in Iraq have basically said that they don't want to get involved anymore. And then, of course, because Hezbollah was significantly weakened, then a lot of they were the main kind of people that were protecting and keeping the Syrian regime, the Assad regime, propped up because the Syrian army was so detached from actually wanting to protect the Assad regime. So without Hezbollah, Assad was far more weakened, and basically without Syria protecting Iran, that makes it far more easier for Israel to travel across the region over to Iran. And so because all of those things now have fallen, those dominoes have fallen, it has made it far more easier for Israel to take out action like this that was not possible in Trump's first term.
Cool. And this is a very basic question, I know, and it's just rhetorical. We can move on, but this is rhetorical. Then why didn't Israel do it instead of us? They should have done it. They should have taken care of it.
Well, Israel
It's rhetorical. It's rhetorical. I don't care.
Oh, that's a weird thing to. Okay. Well, I'm going to answer it anyways. That Israel doesn't have B-2 bombers, and so America's the only one with the capabilities to take out Fordo.
Yeah, but there's no evidence that we've stopped the program. The assessment by virtually everyone in the nuclear community was that we weren't going to be able to stop them.
So I guess
from
I'm
having
curious
nukes.
because is the issue that you believe that it should be stopped, but that we shouldn't be the ones to do it, or that it doesn't matter if it's stopped? I'm curious. I don't understand the fundamental argument on your side or where you are coming
You're
from.
not going to be able to stop it, and we should have used diplomacy. And I think the thing is here that you're categorically missing is, yes, Iran wants a nuclear weapon, but what it wants more is stature in the region. So,
Right, and the way that they
the
get that
original
is-
deal, and just to point out, the whole point here is Trump created this problem by backing out of the Iranian nuclear deal, and
Which
is
was the
now
correct
trying
thing
to
to
solve it. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Why was it correct?
Why
So
was
the
it? No,
JCPO
no, it wasn't. No, it
Yes, it was.
wasn't.
The
Well, based on
JCPOA
what? Based
So
on
the J-
what?
Okay,
What are
so
you
the
basing that
JCPOA
off of?
I'm going to tell you. The JCPOA was a very, very bad deal. And I can tell you that it was a very bad deal because once it was entered into and all of those sanctions were relieved, they received sanctions relief. We can actually see a correlation between those sanction reliefs and the rise in all of these proxies. That's number one. Number two is inside of the
Wait. No, substantiate that.
Okay, so once you had sanctions relieved on the Iranian economy was far more able to fund their.
Substantiate it. Substantiate it.
I
I don't know what you're talking
then
about. They
what-
don't spend an absurd amount of money. Even with sanctions, they were returning $150 billion in GDP. They also have support from China and Russia. Where are you getting
Right,
that
and
from?
Again,
Because otherwise, that's just fucking Israeli. Otherwise, it's just fucking
not
Israeli
propaganda.
propaganda.
I'm sorry
It
that
fucking
perhaps-
is. Show me a
Perhaps
source.
you have not paid attention.
Show
to
me
this more
some
longer than the last year.
citations.
If you
Show
have
me
not paid
some
attention to this,
citations. Don't do
if
with
you
the
have
ad
not paid
homs.
attention to this,
Show
I'm
me the
sorry.
citations. Don't do with the ad homs. Show me the citations. You made a claim, substantiate it. I don't know. What do you think it takes them all this money to fund these proxy groups?
Yes.
Did you also establish the fucking correlation between them, or did you just apply a false correlation and say, well, look, it correlates? Maybe they realize that this works
It
more.
does.
Can you show me
Do
a
you think?
citation?
No, I will. I want to hear your argument again. So you're telling me that there
No.
isn't a correlation between? Okay, there
No,
isn't.
I don't have to prove that there isn't one. You have to prove that there is one.
No,
It's called
but
Occam.
I
It's
do because
literally
it's a
called
fact, like,
Hitchens
literally you just
razor.
have to
You know
look
what
at what's happened
Hitchens
in the last
razor
10
is?
years.
You know what
What
Hitchens
has
razor
happened in
is?
the last 10 years? Sure. What has happened in the
What
last 10 years?
can you substantiate the claim that you made and not obfuscate and pivot? I don't know who
I'm
you think I
literally asking
am
you,
or why I would allow you. I
has
don't need you to
Hezbollah
ask me anything.
become more
I don't need you to ask me a
popular as it has
goddamn
become
thing.
bigger?
Did anybody hear me? I didn't ask for a question. I asked you to answer what I just said.
What citation would you be looking for exactly? Like
I want you said that there was a correlation between sanctions ending and funding going and funding going up, and I'm wondering where the fuck you would even get that from, because just from the basic, literally common sense, you're telling me that it went up as soon as the sanctions ended. That deal was in place for what, a year and a half?
Yes.
And then they went up under Trump when they had some of the most severe sanctions. So you're trying to say, well, they went up after that deal went in. Could I not say that they funded it more because Donald Trump sanctioned them to that degree? Find me a citation. You blew some fucking Israeli propaganda out your ass on my live, and then when I call you out and tell you to show me it, I didn't say everything. I said this is. Don't fucking obfuscate the point. You made some shit up that was literally came out of the mouth of BB, and I asked you for a citation on it, and instead of being like, okay, I'll go and find one, you're sitting here arguing with me about it. And the reason being is because it doesn't exist. It's not possible. That deal was in half for what, a year and a half? Everything after that was incredible sanctions. And despite the sanctions, hold on, hey, despite the sanctions, Iran has cranked up their proxy funding. They've had the most severe restrictions on them, and they cranked up their funding. So I want a citation for that.
Okay, so I don't have one right now. So what I will tell you is this. Hold on a sec. Hold on, dude. I will tell you this. I will ask you this,
well, can you find one?
Hold on, wait. Just give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. After the live, I will make a video. As you can see, I have 33,000 followers.
I don't want a video. I want you to pause. I want you to pause and go find. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait, bud. Listen, I don't want to wait. I want you to go find the source. We don't need to go where you're going to go through a video where you can't be questioned on whatever bullshit you pull out of your ass. I'm asking you, please go find a source. They do this. They fucking do this. This is literally like, and by the way, I've been a content creator for a long time, so I know how people respond. They literally will take, this is exactly what they'll do. He'll make a video pointing out a single point, not addressing a single thing I say, and then like, they inundate the video. So they put a ton of shit in the video so that it's like, I can't make a response to this in a video, right? Like I have to do this long form ass thing trying to debunk every single point, or he'll point to a single thing and then never fucking respond again. Just find the citation for it, for the love of God.
Yeah, because what he would do is he would come, like, say he would go find something and come back, and it would just be confirmation bias. Now he's pressured to actually, like, not do that because it'll embarrass you, Silver. I just think it's propaganda. What he's yapping right now.
I'm looking at.
Like, from what I've read, and most recently, you need 90% HEU, like enriched uranium, to make that a kaboom, right? Over 90%. Of course, the other parts, yeah, that needs to be there as well. But if it's last, like, recorded at 62%, it's weird. It's just propaganda, in my opinion.
I'm looking for like a yearly. I don't think they have like a yearly. They show a tax, but they don't show funding.
Chris, thank you for the 5. Sorry, I'm busy following this story right now.
Yeah, my assumption here would be is like one of two things, and this you would have to navigate this, right? One, you would have to navigate the fact that, like, as you would have to navigate the fact that there, if how would I put this? So one is the increase correlation relative to like their goals, ambitions, whatever. So you would have to like prove that because you're saying that this deal was the cause of it is creating a causal chain. You would have to address that in a pretty substantial way because a lot of times, right? Like it would be like it'd be like if I was like, Trump came into office uh, and we watched the amount of Russian spending on bot farms skyrocket. Therefore, Trump is a Russian asset. That would be illogical, right? Because it also could be, which is true, that Russia found out that this works. They found out it works real well. They have less things to do elsewhere and have allocated the money. Saying this is a correlation that was fucking crazy. And I just want to point out how fucking batshit bozo it is. Like, really, 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 really nutso behavior. Like, to be like, oh yeah, well, they're funding, it's a bad deal to prevent them from having nuclear weapons because they're funding groups that don't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're terrible for funding all this. Is like this weird thing that they do where they're like, this is terrible that they're funding for this. And so we should stop. We should allow them to have nuclear weapons. You know, like it logically
Yeah,
doesn't
that's an
track.
interesting trade-off.
Right. Well, we don't want them to have. We don't want the Houthis to have drones, so let's allow Iran to have nukes.
That'll teach them.
That'll teach them. They won't know what hit them. Here's a bullshit.
Here we go. Here we go. More propaganda.
So my apologies. The sanctions, what happened was that when Biden offered the sanctions relief, once he came in, because you were right that because the JCPOA was only in for a year to a year and a half, it didn't really have time for them. Then the sanctions went back in during Trump's time. However, Biden came back in, and instead of going back into the JCPOA, he just gave sanctions relief, offered $6 billion in unfrozen assets. And that is when we ultimately...
He went off the app.
Okay.
Reddit's pretty busy. I get it. If you can't see us, we can't hear you, Silver. Just so you know. I just think it's weird that they have the capability to kaboom directly into an apartment on the like 6th floor to take out a general in Iran, but they can't do what the states did. It's ridiculous. We understand. Israeli government, we get it. Your strategy is to just carpet bomb.
So I have it here.
We get that.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So this is a...
Silver, once again, you're gonna have to write it down or memorize it. We can't. If you don't see us, we cannot hear you.
Oh, my bad. Let me take some screenshots and then you can make me big. So 1 second.
What? Okay. I didn't agree to that, but all right.
Hey guys, we know about the Qatar military base strike. Just so you know, we know.
Where is he getting this? I don't. Yeah, we're aware of the attack.
Yeah. Can you make it? Can you make me big and I can put my screen up?
Can you show us what you're going to show first?
All right, 1 second. Where's the green screen? I thought I... Why can't I do a green screen here? Oh, ah!
Jump scare.
Yeah.
All right, this is like
Nice house.
It's literally like
And me.
Papa trying to figure out how to work a phone. Like those you are on TikTok or over on YouTube, he like keeps pressing the camera in the wrong direction. I don't know. He keeps changing the camera angle. He flipped the screen and then.
Go
Why don't
to
you just say what your source is?
Yeah, or write it down. But if you go to camera, it pulls up effects, push up on the arrow, go to green screen, touch the green screen. I'm doing it right now. And then go touch the plus sign. And then select your thing.
By the way, there's a Venmo Cash App in the bio if you guys want to support the channel. You can sub on any one of the platforms, including TikTok. All right, well, I'm going to let him figure this out. We'll come back to this. You can sub
Okay.
over on Patreon in the link tree in the bio. Yeah, we have a 20 sub goal in the morning. We have 2 out of 20. So, we need to crank this up. We need 18 more subs. If you guys sub over on TikTok, it is 2, by the way. Trying to wait for this guy to figure it out. I'm about to move on because I got a bunch of people in the requests.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
Silver.
notice.
Can you just tell us that the name of the article that you're referring to in the website?
It's a Foundations for Defense of Democracy analysis.
Foundations
Jason,
of what?
appreciate it. Thank you. Jason, appreciate it. Thank you for
Yeah,
the
the
10
Foundations for
gifted.
Defense
Can we
of
get some?
Democracy is a think tank.
Of course. Jason, appreciate it. Thank you for the 10. Can we get some dubs and drumsticks in the chat? If you guys got a sub with that, hit him with a heart or dubs. What's the name of the source? The foundation.
Okay, what's the name of the article?
The Foundations for the Defense of
Foundation of
Democracy.
Defense.
How Biden helps Iran pay.
What's the name of the article?
How Biden helped Iran pay for its terror by refusing to enforce current sanctions. Here, I can. Yeah.
The Foundation for Defense of Democracies is a neocon 501 nonprofit think
See, this
tank
is why
based
this
in
is why it's
Washington,
ridiculous to
DC.
come up with citations, right? As soon
It
as
is
you come
a
up with
pro-
the citation is wrong. Like,
Really quick. It is described as a pro-Israel, anti-Iran lobbying group due to its focus and opposition to the 2015 nuclear deal. Really
not
sounds like you
nonpartisan.
found a credible, and it does sound like you're going to read me an opinion piece. It's like, so what's the name of the article? You can chill
How
out for a
Biden helped
second.
Iran
I know.
pay for
Listen,
its terror.
there'll be plenty of time to lick the boot of Bibi. All
I knew
right,
it.
there'll be
This is why
plenty
it
of
doesn't
time.
make
I
sense. It's
promise.
okay. Here's what I'm gonna do.
you.
I'm gonna make the video for you. I'm gonna have multiple arguments, and then
You ain't gonna do shit. You're gonna read me the thing, or you're gonna go.
I was
you got the
trying to, but
source?
you didn't like the source I came up with.
Oh, it's partisan.
I'm looking for the source. Yeah, it's partisan, but what's the source?
Iran foot the bill for its aggression, including.
All right, get the fuck out of my life. I'm good. I don't need another BB bootlicker. To be honest with you, I'm good.
This is a short article. And it was forwarded by the New York Post.
What is the name of the article?
This is funny. How Biden helps Iran pay for its terror by refusing to enforce current sanctions.
Okay, so this is opinion piece.
Yeah, you'll see how the way it's structured, that it's not very worded.
Yeah, what the hell is this, dude? No, this is actually embarrassing, dude. It's literally like double spaced. It's a page, maybe a page and a half. It's very. By the way, this is always how you can tell
This
it's
is an
bullshit.
opinion
President
piece.
Biden has. This is an opinion piece, by the way. President Biden has spent 3 years in office, making it clear to Tehran's terrorist regime that America won't make it pay any price to attack, whatever, bankroll, and it's just basically an anti-Biden shit. In fact, refusing to enforce sanctions. Biden foot the grill for the 45 years in power. Each year since Biden took office, Iran has steadily increased oil exports, its most lucrative revenue source. Iran oil production per day. Oh, oil's about to go up, by the way. They produce 4.3 million barrels a day.
Gulp.
So what's that work out to in... Let's see. They're selling it at a discount, too, I'd be willing to bet. What's oil right now? $70 a barrel? So it's going to be... They make $300 million a day. They're not selling it at that price, by the way. So...
76.82 per barrel.
They're gonna be selling it probably lower than that.
Did he run?
What was that? 39?
He got kicked.
Wait, I just Google it. Iran GDP. It's 404 billion is their GDP.
Guys, we know about the Qatar nullified kabooming. We know about it.
67 billion. It's a pretty sizable portion of their economy, but points out that, oh, well, they're selling more oil. Well, yeah, they were allowed to move oil. By the way, because we needed to, I just want to point this out. We needed to lower oil prices. And so one of the things that our government and Western governments allow is Iran at times to sell that oil to our markets to help alleviate oil prices. It's something that's done very regularly, where they're just sort of like, we'll just ignore the sanctions.
Is it true
But
that
basically-
20%? Oh, sorry.
You go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right.
I was just saying, is it true that the 20% of the global oil goes through the Strait? Is that true?
Probably. Or the Suez Canal, probably. I'd imagine.
I don't know.
Probably a lot, yeah. Wait, really quick. Let me see. So the whole thing about this, so their oil production, we're talking about 1 million barrels per day, so maybe $10 billion or so a year. Maybe 25 billion or something like that. This is total from relaxed sanctions. Maybe 20 something billion. I only have up to 2020 where it dropped off from the Trump sanctions, reducing their oil production by like 20%. So maybe like 25 billion. That's what it's talking about. They don't need that 25 billion to fund Hezbollah.
Yeah. Gas is about to get really expensive, Waterbug. So you guys go fill up your gas. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna get ugly. I saw an estimate was $8 to $9 per gallon. So somewhere like California, you guys are
This is...
gonna hurt.
I'll just finish up on this about this article. This article doesn't actually draw any sort of, literally any sort of correlation between Biden and funding. I just want to point that out. Just that, well, he allowed them to export more oil, so that's what did it. That's not correlational. This is an opinion piece. It's actually really sad. The whole thing is like maybe a page and a half or 2 pages double spaced, and it might be small because it's like kind of squished like this. But no, this is not a source.
Yeah, someone found his other socials, and he's very Zio on that social account of his, so I'm not surprised.